Welcome, everybody. I'm Wade Nomura, and welcome to our show, Rotary and Serving Our Community. With us today, we have a special guest. Our guest today is the District Governor for Rotary International in our area, Jim Bell.
Hey,
Jim,
Wade.
yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. Good to
I
see
know
you.
you've had a pretty busy schedule.
Busy is one word for it.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm born and raised in Ohio. Went through Ohio State University before it was the Ohio State University, and then moved to Southern California and got in the broadcasting business, much like this studio right here, and worked the broadcasting industry for about 35 years, and finished up and retired 3 years ago, and my wife and I live in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, great. So how long have you been in Rotary?
Been in Rotary since 2004.
2004. And what drew you in, attracted you to the organization?
The general manager of the TV station in Bakersfield, California, the NBC affiliate, invited me to a Rotary meeting. I really didn't know what Rotary was all about, and decided to take him up on it, and fell in love with it.
That sounds good. What was anything specific that really attracted you to it, that you liked about the organization?
At first, it was the friendships we were developing. Being new to Bakersfield at the time, my wife and I didn't have a lot of friends, and I thought, well, here's a great way to meet some business leaders and community folks. And it turned out that was the entree, but what the caveat was, which sneaks up on you, is all the service side, which I really enjoyed.
Give us an example. What is one of the service projects that you were involved with that you really liked?
Good question. The Bakersfield Breakfast Rotary Club, which I joined, is famous for roofing houses that are made by Habitat for Humanity. So almost once a month on a Saturday morning, they would gather together and put these roofs on these homes. And I thought that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, with 30, 35 Rotarians on a roof, many of them women, giving direction on how to cut the shingles and lay them in. It was just a lot of fun.
That is great. Is that still going on, that project, to this day?
It's not as big as it was, because the Habitat for Humanity folks are not building the houses that they used to build. So it went from once a month, perhaps, to now maybe twice a year.
Got it. Now, District Governor, tell us a little bit about that job.
Well, it's new to me. This is I'm my third month now as District Governor. It's a one-year assignment, and it covers 4 counties. Our district covers 4 counties in the central part of California, 74 Rotary clubs, and it's a handful, about 3,550 Rotarians presently.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Now, you said there's how many clubs? 74 clubs?
74 clubs.
And you have to, I'm presuming you have to travel and visit each one of those clubs at least once in the year?
I am visited club number 34.
Number 34.
Just before I walked in the studio today.
Great.
So yes, the qualifier is you must visit the club and give a speech and meet with the Rotarians, and then meet with the board while you're there. So there's actually 2 meetings on the same day.
Great. So you are actually at a meeting, I think, right before this show. What was that meeting all about?
Well, the meeting just prior to this one was very interesting. It was at Dos Pueblos High School, where I had a chance to sit down with our Interact club. Interact is the high school version of Rotary. So it was just fantastic. They meet every other Tuesday at 12:30 to 1 o'clock during their lunch hour. And 2 weeks ago, they had 19 members. Today, they had 31 members. Wow. It was just amazing. It was fantastic.
What kind of projects are they doing, or do they do anything special?
It's right at the very beginning of the school year. Okay. So they made some money over the summer selling some raffle tickets. I think it was at the fireworks show here at Goleta.
Okay.
And they worked that booth and helped out there. But they're just now getting ready to choose their board of directors. Okay. And their projects for the coming year, which will be 2 weeks from today.
That's great. Now, that was sponsored by a Rotary Club, correct?
The Goleta Club. The Goleta Evening Club, or the Goleta Club.
The Goleta Club, okay, because there are 2 clubs out in Goleta, correct?
That's correct.
An evening and a noontime club?
That's right.
Okay, great. Now, only one of the clubs then sponsor that group?
Most Rotary clubs sponsor an Interact club. Some may sponsor 2 different high schools. Obviously, they're all high schools, so They may have one or two, and I know one in Bakersfield has 3 Interact clubs. So, but that usually 1 or 2 at the most.
Okay, and it's high school based.
High school based,
Okay.
juniors and seniors. This particular club had a few sophomores in it.
Okay.
But that's nice to see too.
What is the, I would say, the message or the focus that Rotary would sponsor the Interact clubs?
Well, that's our future. When
Okay.
you think about it, we have Interact in the high school level, then we have Rotaract in the college age and beyond, up to about age 30, 28 to 30, and then at that time, they'll probably want to join a regular Rotary club for the rest of their life.
Got it. Okay. I know that in regular Rotary, they, I would say, make sure that they emphasize ethics, good ethics, and integrity. Is that something that's carried on with these programs also?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, if you had any doubts about our children today, just go to an Interact meeting or go to one of the many of the Rotary groups, like in Bakersfield and I believe here as well, has a youth ethics forum where could be as many as a couple hundred Interact students participate in this. It's just amazing things that work.
Wow. I've heard also of a 4-way test, essay contest. Is that also being done?
That is being done
in the district?
It is being done in the district. I believe all 74 clubs will be involved with that this year, so I'm excited about that.
Good. And that has to do with ethics and integrity also, the 4-way test.
Which is all encompassing the Rotary, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, good. Now, being 4 months into Rotary as a governor, how many miles have you traveled?
I was afraid you're going to ask that. I haven't measured it yet, but I'm sure it's many thousands.
Okay. Now, there's a joke among past district governors, and I don't know if you're keeping track, but how many chicken meals have you eaten?
Well, counting today's lunch, you mean?
Just kidding. Yeah. So have you enjoyed it? Has it been a good
it's
trip
been
for
wonderful. There's nothing like Rotarians. I mean, they're warm-hearted, they're kind, they're generous, and they get things done in their community. That's what it's all about, gathering together and getting things done. And it's amazing to watch.
Great. Question for you. This is often brought up in the Rotary circle, a Rotary moment.
Sure.
Have you ever experienced a Rotary
You know,
moment?
I did. I'm glad you asked. It goes back to that roofing project from the Bakersfield Breakfast Club I was mentioning. I was about ready to quit Rotary. I was into it about 6 or 7 months, and I wasn't getting it. I mean, I didn't catch on. I didn't have a mentor as I probably should have had at that time. Rotary is kind of like an onion. There's so many layers to it as you start peeling back peeling it back. So, and I was right at the beginning. And I decided to join the Breakfast Rotarians. And on a particular Saturday, it was in November, I just went out to the project, got up on the roof and started helping. And I was stunned about how organized they were, how everybody just had an assignment, and they were able to get this job done in about 4.5 hours, from basically between breakfast and lunch. But at one point, I remember looking down. I was standing up on the roof, catching my breath, I guess you'd say. And I looked down, I saw that young married couple with 2 little kids standing there this was going to be their new home. And I think that's the point that caught me. Wow. I just looked at that and I thought, wow, we're doing this for them. And within another few weeks, they would be moving into their first house. And I thought, well, now that is pretty cool.
That is really neat.
It was really neat.
I remember one of the trips that I went to was in San Luis Obispo. We went to a holiday shopping spree where the clubs actually put money in and they sponsor underprivileged children to actually buy clothes. They give them a budget to buy clothes, and I had about a 10-year-old boy with me, and we went through. We had a list of things that each child was to get: jacket, shirt, pants, belt, shoes, socks, whatever. And that list had to be completed within the budget. And as we were checking out, I looked at this boy, and he was sitting there staring at a pair of socks he had picked. And I looked at him and I go, is that okay? Is that the wrong color, or do you want to change it for something else? He says, no. He goes, I've just never owned a pair of these.
Oh my gosh.
That was one of my Rotary moments
there
also.
You go.
And that happened in San Luis Obispo, so it happens everywhere.
That's amazing.
Those are true opportunities. Now, how about for you travel-wise? Do you have a plan that you set up each week where you have to travel to X amount of clubs, things like that?
Within the district, yes. Between roughly the 3rd week of July to Thanksgiving, I leave the house Monday morning or sometimes Sunday night, and I get home Friday afternoon. So I'm on the road the entire time. And
that's for Rotary then exclusively.
and you know, it has to be kind of built in that way, because some clubs, I mean, there are so many clubs that meet on Tuesday, so many clubs that meet on Wednesday, so many clubs that meet on Thursday, and then you have to work in your breakfast, lunch, and dinners at the time that they meet. And so you have to really coordinate this. So there's a fellow on the district staff that is a scheduler that helps me with that. So we keep them all in order, and I'm not running from, for example, Bakersfield to San Luis, and then the next day Santa Barbara, then back to Bakersfield. You try to stay in geographic areas.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing. I hear that there's as many as 200 volunteer staff people in
That's exactly
this
right.
district.
That's very close.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know what? They're just normal Rotarians that you would find in any Rotary club. That the way I like to describe it is the district staff are just people who decided to focus in on a topic that maybe I refer to it as their master's degree. So maybe it's grant writing, maybe it's membership, maybe it's a vocational service or international travel. There's people that on the district staff that can assist any any Rotary club to help with that.
Wow.
Whatever their need is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess with a pool of 3,600 people nearly, that
Yes.
goes pretty far as far as
It definitely
reaching out
does.
to people.
There's never a job unfilled. There's plenty of people.
That's true. Now, at the club level, I'm presuming you would probably find very similar, if not the same.
Almost the
scale.
same structure, just a little bit smaller.
Okay.
They have their own board of directors. Every Rotary club is independent. We don't. The district staff doesn't tell them what to do. We're the bottom of the pyramid, not the top of the pyramid. In other words, we're there to serve them. So when they need something, whatever it happens to be, they give me a call or give somebody on the staff a call, and we connect the dots and go to work for them.
Okay, so the club level is actually at the top of this pyramid.
Exactly.
That's good to know,
Yeah.
especially in a volunteer organization. Now, last week, I believe you spent the time in San Jose. Is that correct?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, we did. We had what was referred to as a Young Professional Summit on the West Coast. There were 60 of us invited, 60 of us, our age group invited, and we had 60 young professionals between the ages of roughly 30 and 45. And we met for 2 days, individually the first day and together the second day, to determine how do we put these two worlds together going forward, because you know we're towards the end of our Rotary career and they're at the beginning of theirs. True. And it's two different cultures that are trying to merge, and it was enlightening. It was just amazing. Yeah.
Now, Rotary says one of the focuses is actually on vocational service.
Mm-hmm.
And was that part of what this program was about?
That was part of it, not all of it, but yes, it's important to the young folks to do those kind of things. And basically, we didn't talk a whole lot. We did a lot of listening while we were there. So yes, it is, or it was, I should say.
Well, that's great. That is great. Now, that group came from mostly California, or was that beyond?
There were a few beyond. There were some folks from the, I believe, Seattle and Portland area.
Okay.
A few. Okay. But most of them are Southern California, meaning from San Francisco south. Mm-hmm.
Great. Now, how about your international travels? Has being a governor given you that opportunity?
Does. We have two sister district relationships that come first and foremost. We have a District 3720 is in southern South Korea, Ulsan, Busan, Changwon area. Been over there 2 or 3 times now. And then District 4160, about 2.5 hours north of Mexico City, which is Querétaro, León, San Miguel de Allende. And that is another area that we travel to on a regular basis.
Okay. Does that include projects? Is that part of the
Definitely.
idea?
Definitely.
And partnerships and friendships then?
Partnerships, friendships, and associating with some of their projects. And many times, for example, the South Koreans have come back into our country and worked projects in our areas too.
Okay, great. Then Korea is the same way then? Korea and Mexico?
Totally the same way. In terms of Rotarians?
In terms of Rotarians and partnerships?
Oh, definitely. You know, South Korea is so amazing to visit because it is growing so fast over there, Rotary. The district that we are in our sister district relationship with is splitting at the end of this Rotary year into 2 districts. And I think they have close to 120 clubs now, so there would be 2 districts of 60 clubs each. We have 74 4 clubs right now. So
Okay.
that puts them right in line. But wow,
Okay, so
It's
they're actually splitting up
it's
then.
pretty exciting.
So that is where the growth right now currently of Rotary is.
Yes,
more in the
Asia's
Asian
primarily the,
Wow.
the big growth area.
Okay.
We have some work to do in the United States to catch up with them right now.
Now, do you see why, or have you thought about why that would be the case, where Asian countries would be growing more?
Well, I think there is. I think part of it's cultural. To be honest with you, I think the businessmen there are very proud of their work and what they do, and perhaps one of the perks is to join a Rotary Club. And I think most of the clubs there that I'm aware of have a waiting list to get in. That's not the case in the U.S. So there's something to that, I believe.
I think you're right. Visiting a few of the Asian countries and Rotary clubs, I've seen the same thing. They seem to carry more prestige with that membership, and they're looking for that prestige. Most of them are business people, like you say, and it seems that the club sizes are smaller because of that fact. So I can see that happening. Do you have any plans this year coming up of traveling internationally?
Well, both of those places I mentioned,
Okay.
as well as, well, actually, we're going to Korea twice this year. We're going for their district conference in April, going back for an international conference in June. Mexico once. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Nicaragua in February because we'll have some projects that we're going to look at down there as well.
Okay, great.
So,
great.
yeah.
Now the projects in Nicaragua, are those district-based or are they club-based?
Almost nothing's district-based, almost everything's club-based.
Okay.
And beyond that, we also have another project in one of the villages putting some water system in.
Okay.
And it's a kind of the whole village is getting water for the first time, and that's kind of exciting.
That is. Now those projects are located by people serving the area, by Rotary clubs, Rotarians?
Yes, exactly. Rotary clubs there, connecting with Rotary clubs elsewhere.
Okay.
In our case, us.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay. Now those projects that are being funded, are those being funded privately by an organization or by a foundation?
They are 2 ways. They are being funded by Rotarians and their clubs, but also through the Rotary Foundation, which has grant money available to work on specific areas of projects. So we try to get both areas involved.
Now how much, I would say, money or work do you actually have to put in and oversee as far as the investment of those funds as a governor?
It seems to increase each year and in terms of oversight, but as a governor, not that much, but there are people on the project that are very, very involved with it. I mean, know it inside and out, visit there many, many times. So,
okay.
yeah.
Now that you've visited a little bit of Santa Barbara, and you've been able to witness some of the projects that some of the local clubs are doing, anything stand out exceptional to you?
You can't sit here and not talk about the Goleta fireworks on the 4th of July. That's an amazing thing. There's youth ethics forums, there's golf tournaments, all of these are fundraisers for nonprofits, which we help them with. And there's a talent show fundraiser in, I believe in Carpinteria, is that correct?
One in Carpinteria.
So yeah, they're as long as your arm. I'm telling you, there's a lot of projects here.
Oh, good, good. Now, have you get to actually visit any of those yet?
Have not been, well, just the fireworks.
The fireworks.
I went to the fireworks on the 4th of July.
Okay,
so.
and what did you think about that one?
Oh, I loved it. I also was in the the Fiesta Parade.
Oh, yeah.
Later on, that was early August.
It was, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. We had a Rotary float where a couple actually got married on the float during the parade.
We had that show a little while ago, and actually your picture showed up on there, so you're going to be famous twice now.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. We like the way you dress too, by the way. You look pretty fiesta-ish.
Oh,
I like that.
That was fun.
Now, future plans. Do you have anything that you're looking at above and beyond being a governor?
You know, this is so encompassing right now. I haven't really looked much beyond it, but I'm sure I'll stay active at the district level. I'll have time to go back into my club at the club level and work with them as well. So, which I can't do right now. I haven't been to my club in probably 3 months. My Bakersfield home club. I mean, yeah.
Now, how about your wife? Does she travel with you at all?
She travels with me all the time. We just had about 3 weeks ago our 40th wedding anniversary.
Oh,
and
congratulations!
So, thank you. We're very excited about that, and yeah, she's a sweetie. Keeps me on track.
Yeah. Now, I hate to bring this up, but there has been cases in the past where governors put so much time and effort in that there have actually been divorces that have occurred. You don't see that happening here, do you?
Not even close. but
Only
I did
checking.
tell her.
Hey, just
I did tell her on my 40th wedding, or our 40th wedding anniversary. I'm running out of patience. I don't think we're going to make it to 60. So we'll see.
Yeah. Sounds good. That's a good goal and objective. What do you think was the number one reason for you to remain engaged in Rotary? To stay involved?
Initially, it was, as I mentioned, it was the friendships, but it became the service aspect as time went by, and that sort of sneaks up on you at the beginning. You don't really see that initially. At least I didn't.
Okay.
And once I hit that roof, and then we had many other projects. We ring the bell at Christmas time for the Salvation Army. We do a lot of Meals on Wheels. We feed the homeless on one Saturday a quarter. About 300, 350 people. I mean, this is just all amazing things to me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't raised that way, so this was things that was new and fresh, and I got to learn it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, in being a governor, with the traveling that you have to do, how much do you actually have to organize your personal life? I would say the commitment to that, and what you actually sacrifice in that
good
part
question.
of it.
There is a lot of sacrifice for about a 6-month window, I would say, while you're busy visiting the clubs. The first 6 months of your governor year. But prior to that, there's about 3 years of being aware that you're going to be the governor, because you're elected about 30 months out. And there's training involved at the zone level and the RI level. So that was, you plug those into your life. But once you hit this period of time, you really have to set things aside. I haven't mowed the grass in a long time.
Well, at least you have grass over there in Bakersfield. We don't have a heck of a lot of it over here. You talked about zone and RI meaning Rotary International.
Sure.
The training for that. Why don't you explain a little bit what you had to go through to become a governor as far as education and training?
It might be helpful to realize you have Rotary clubs are organized inside a district, and there are 535 districts around the world, and then the districts are organized into zones. So in our zone 26, where we're living and breathing right now, there are 13 districts. So there's training that's available to you, actually mandatory training available to you at the zone level and at the Rotary International level. And each of them lasts about a week, and you have about a week a year for 3 weeks. And it's phenomenal training, just amazing training in terms of leadership and how Rotary works.
Okay. Do you remember offhand what some of the emphasis were, some of the topics that you went through?
Well, there's all kinds of international travel, there's international grant writing, there is associations with district governors all around the world. They put you in rooms together and work on common projects. I mean, the list is numerous. It's just amazing.
It is.
Yeah. It's overwhelming by the time you end up in San Diego.
San Diego. Now, what is San Diego?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. International Assembly is the best Rotary event I've ever been to. Rotary International brings all the district governor-elects about 6 months before they take office into San Diego, all 535 of them. And you are with them for 7 straight days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, assigned out into rooms of 25 or 30, always different every couple of hours, to meet these fellas and ladies from around the world. And it's just wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
That sounds great. I heard that also they, even at the club level, they have training for the presidents, the incoming presidents.
Yes, they do. The presidents attend what's called President-elect training seminars, usually in February or March every year in every district. And ours is in Southern California at the LAX Marriott, where we bring 6 districts together and train their presidents over a long weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Got it.
And that event will have right around 500 incoming Rotary International or Rotary presidents that we train, and that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
Now at the district level, that would be under yours. Do you also have training for the presidents as they come into office?
Absolutely. The event I just described to you at the LAX Marriott in 3 days or 3 long days only covers about half of what you can communicate to the incoming presidents. So the rest of that's left up to the districts, and we do our own usually in September prior to the January or the February meeting. So, and we do it right here in our district somewhere. And I think the upcoming one's in about 2 weeks in Oxnard.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, what do you focus on, I would say? What is the focus of training presidents? Is there a priority list that you work with?
That is determined by each governor as they come in, as they see the need of that incoming group of presidents. But yes, there's a focus on every one of these trainings. Once again, it's the things they don't cover at the pets.
Sure.
So we try to complement what they do with pets in LAX to what we do here within the district. So they'll cover like 12 topics, and maybe we have another 10 topics over here. Anything from due diligence to how to have good fundraisers and good meetings.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the focus, it sounds like, would be relevant to the local areas would be, say, local projects, local
Mm-hmm.
events, things like that. Is that part of the training that you do?
That's part of the training that we show, because it's really up to the clubs what they want to do in their own districts.
Okay.
We have many that they're very focused on polio plus and solving that issue once and for all. And then others have focuses elsewhere.
Okay, good, good. Now, for you, I want to know why you decided to become a governor. What effect or what result would you have in serving as a governor?
You know, you have to think about that long and hard before you go through the interview process. But I just felt there were some things I could bring to the table, things that I've considered that might be implemented within the district to help the district out and to help the clubs out. And frankly, I love being around Rotarians. So just to me, it was like, opportune.
What do you think exemplifies what a Rotarian really is? And when you say you like hanging out with
Well,
Rotarians?
I think you have a common bond when you walk in a Rotary Club right out of the gate, because you all are agreeing on some of the very same principles in life in terms of truthfulness, integrity, honesty, character, those kind of things. Sounds like the Marines, doesn't it? That's not what I mean.
Almost. Okay.
So there you go.
Good, good.
Yeah.
In working with the clubs at the club level, what do you see special in each club or different that really shows it as a Rotary club?
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting because I use the term DNA. Every club has its own DNA, meaning culture. To visit a club in Goleta is completely different than visiting a club in Bakersfield, for example. In that some of them sing, have songs that they sing. Some of them have little nuances of fining or other things that they do just to have fun in the club.
Got it.
And
well, Jim, thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate that, and
thank you
for your time. I know you're a busy man.
Appreciate that.
And again, for that time, we appreciate that. Everybody, thank you for joining us today, and please take a look at some of the local Rotary clubs, see what they're doing. I think all the clubs, they're making a difference, doing a huge bit of work for their communities. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.